back once again. You are now tuned into the underground. My name is Mbai and I go by the doctor. Today, what I have for you is, of course, a big chop. Doesn't do any good, but just have them start to discolor.
Wait, do you
You
remember?
ever pull any up back? No?
You gotta stay still, okay?
Got one off.
Then I'll get your V-Bucks when you're done.
Okay, man.
See, I would have kept it long and did like a ponytail, but you don't let nobody tie his hair.
No,
Nope.
just let it
He
drape.
used to have a ponytail, but as he got older, didn't want nobody to touch his hair.
It's committed.
Remember to stay still when you move around.
Stay still. Okay. Stay straight. I get your V-Bucks.
Thinking where you gonna start with this. Dang. Need these.
Okay, Millie, okay?
I know. Is he just gonna cut off that bump right there?
I don't know yet. Everything's gotta go. You're gonna look good for your pictures for school.
I know.
Are you doing this because you got a girlfriend at school?
Yeah.
Better not be.
That's how we rocking now? With the girlfriend?
His girl was like, he must have found a little girl he thought was cute.
I would do it right there.
Maybe that's why he asked for deodorant.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Now you think about it too?
No.
That's
I barely even know anyone at my school. Barely.
I thought you did.
I know a few.
In after school or
Well, only boys. Not. I know all the boys in my class.
no, stay still, babe. Stay still. Look forward and stay straight.
right there so you can chop it up.
There you go.
Boom. Okay. Going down.
Well, it's just like a deodorant.
Mhm.
I'm so proud of you. Look, my hair's getting covered.
You ready? It's going down. I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like I'm getting my hair cut.
It's just ticklish.
You go through the breeze on scalp when you leave.
Guess what? You know what this means, Millie? This means you can take baths now instead of showers. Because I've been having to make some showers because we have so much hair.
Yeah.
Now you can take baths.
I had somebody that had double what he's got.
Oh,
Let's chop it. And they've had it since like 2018, something like that. Yeah, so they've been rocking for a minute. But you know, it's time for a change. With that being said, to a new day is always a blessing. It is always a great one to be alive, be able to breathe, be able to walk, run, talk, whatever it is that you are wanting to change about your life, you can achieve that. You can do it. Whether it is, of course, improving your personality, getting over that anxiety, getting over any hardships. You know, if you have ADHD, being able to face certain uncomfortable things or be able to take care of a task, you know, whatever the case that you have going, it's always a great day to help yourself be better, to improve, no matter what. With that being said, this was a haircut that I was kind of allowed to do whatever it is that I pleased. I was shown a picture, but I did improvise to make this work because big chops are not always the best. And I'm not going to say anything too extraordinary that is going to, of course, show you step by step on how I went about this. This is just kind of one of those follow along videos, just kind of watch along with me. I had to do a lot of improvising. This is his third haircut ever. The first haircut, I wasn't the one that gave it to him. He went to like a kid's shop. They took care of him there. That being said, he did actually get his second real haircut versus that little kid haircut that he got from me. and this is his third haircut ever in life, and I cannot disappoint. I have to make sure that I do a good job. And as you can see, he is over here nervous as I don't know what. He is talking about he is ticklish and all that, which towards the nape area he was. And I think kids have this nervous thing about themselves that they never will ever reveal, that is just nervousness. Kids laugh when they're nervous. Kids always giggle when they're nervous, or feel anything foreign to their body is ticklish when it's really not ticklish. So in this case, he's claiming that his whole haircut right now was tickling him when he was just really nervous about losing his hair. He's been attached to this hair for a very long time. I believe he's about 6, maybe 7 years old. But the kid's bright, and it was time to lose all of that hair. Not that it was a bad look, just to, get him right, get him ready, get him used to getting a haircut is something that he's going to have to achieve on his own. As long as his mom and dad bring him back over and over repetitively, making sure that he starts to get used to this. But this is not really a tutorial, y'all. I just want y'all to kind of see what the process is like when it goes down in the real deal, like real time. I wasn't warned about this big chop. They just kind of booked this, showed up, and said, yeah, we're chopping it off. It's usually like that when people book their appointments. They just kind of, in the moment, they tell you, yeah, we're cutting it. And you just kind of have to do what you have to. And in this case, that's exactly what I'm going through. That's why I'm improvising what they showed me, because it's not going to work exactly the way most people think it will when you're doing a big chop. The big chops are always going to be a sloppy, ridiculously nasty job. It's never going to be perfect. Even though this is going to turn out fairly well, it was not the best that it could be. And in all fairness, I did do a tapered fade on him, which went into kind of like a very interesting curly cropped comb over situation that I'm going to do for him. It's just going to work. It's a classic haircut. It's very recognizable. As you can see in the thumbnail, I'm sure y'all saw what it looked like with the end result. But how I went about this was just very unorthodox. I just had to make sure that I was molding the haircut in, and I did have to work fast in the nape area, because this whole time how he's hunching over and slouched, he is very uncomfortable, as in ticklish, as he was saying. But this is just him showing clear signs and indication that he is not very familiar with how to get a haircut. He's chopping it up way too much. At his age, kids, like you see me trying to reset him, kids his age should be very familiar with how to get a haircut and sit there, versus being way too chatty. It's just what kids do. You gotta be ready for that. Kids love being very chatty, especially when they have familiar faces in the room. Even just with me, I make sure that kids are very comfortable. I get them to talk. They get very verbally comfortable with me when it comes to expressing how they feel, what they like to do, what it is that they're playing as far as video games, what's their favorite character in the video game, or action figures, or favorite movie. We just go all around the world. We do all of that. I like for kids to be very comfortable, and most of y'all are very familiar with my room. My room is a very comfortable setting. It's not too serious. It's not uptight. It's just something that you can jump on in the room, or come on in. It's very welcome, and it's inviting. It's not serious or uptight. I would never want to set up a shop that was too serious, because people don't really realize how your environment, your space, can impact you. And my room doesn't really require conversation, but conversation is key. There's some people that really don't want to talk when they're in the chair getting their haircut, and I can go ahead and do that. But as you can see, little homie was very chatty. He talked through the whole service, and I definitely had to make sure I worked my magic, doing some shear work, as you can see, after kind of just setting up the bottom half, getting that prepped with the taper area. And I'm trying to work around him talking and moving around, very fidgety, but he's got a lot of energy, which is great. I need kids to be energetic like this. That says to me that they're very on point, and they're being a kid, and they're treated well at home. They're taken care of. But that could mean many different things for all kinds of different reasons for everybody, but I'm just saying, this was a fun haircut. The whole process was, I didn't really know how this would turn out, but I was trying to make sure that I followed all the steps necessary just to make sure that the kid's hair turned out very well. And his mother had an eagle eye on me. I'm talking about, she was looking very nervous, but I knew she trusted me. It's not her first time being here. It's just, this is her baby boy. She cares about her baby boy. Like most mothers are very sensitive and have a very soft, sweet spot for their baby boys. So I had to make sure that I did my thing, and it was all smiles. The more further into the service that I went, the mom was happy. But like I said, I wish I was able to show y'all the full steps of how I went about this. It was virtually impossible for me to do that because he was entirely way too chatty. He was way too fidgety for me to even try to help him directly focus on just looking forward. Look at his eyes, they're just everywhere. He's moving left and right, doing the whole deal that he should not be doing at all, but it's just part of the game. So I let him do his thing, and as you can see, he chopped it up the full service. I love when people talk throughout the service. It's what I live for, actually. Conversations that are meaningful, and he was going, and that's great stuff for me. All day, I'll take it. I'm all about the human interaction. I love to make sure that people can learn something from me as much as I can learn something from him. And this whole haircut would have not been possible if it was not for V-Bucks. I do guarantee that 100%, because the V-Bucks is what bribed him into getting this service. And as you can see, we're getting somewhere. He's sitting here only because of V-Bucks, I believe. But I also think he was ready for this haircut, so we're gonna get him ready for picture day. Of course, this is a picture day service, so a lot of kids have been coming in this whole season for picture day. I'm making sure that everybody looks great, looks right. These are photos that they're gonna see years from now, and I have to make sure that I deliver the best to my capabilities to make sure that they look on point, because when you look back at haircuts, you see all the flaws in those photos. I know a lot of people tend to say that mirrors are the best way to see how everything looks. Yes, that's true, but mirrors are very deceiving in my opinion. There's nothing like technology. Photos show everything, especially video, film. That's why I always recommend, and that shout out to the homie Taylor Cuts, has actually been very vocal about how the camera is the best tool that you can use while doing a service. It shows you everything, all the flaws, what you need to really work on, what area you need to blend a little bit more, what side of the line you need to just kind of bump up or, clean up a little bit more and get it tighter. This is something that the ones who know. They vouch for this, and I vouch for it. So make sure that you're using those cameras, y'all. Put it right in front of you. You don't have to necessarily be recording. Just use the camera, whether it's on photo setting or video setting. It's going to show you where you need to just kind of touch up a little bit better. And yeah, as you can see, we're moving forward. We've achieved a good blend. Now I just have to kind of do some round brush combing and make sure that everything is combed out and brought out, revealed, so that I can kind of tighten up the fade just a little bit more. This is something that I usually do on this style of haircut, and I'm just kind of following the flow of his hair. As you can see, everything's just being round brushed with some heat being applied on high, of course, and whatever weight lines that are visible that you can see, I'm sure you see that. Like I say, the camera shows everything. Now, I don't necessarily have to use the camera right now because I just know what I need to do. And this is not going to be the most perfect blend, not flawless or nothing like that. It's going to be flawed slightly. But like I said, big chops are always going to be rough, but I did my best to make sure that this was smooth as possible. I could have took this down to the skin, but I kind of kept some hair because I wanted to see this still be visible the way that it is, so that we can have this grow in smoothly, have the hair be trained nicely and all that good stuff. Going bald is always great, but for a kid, I want to have fun with this, and also it's an opportunity for him to get to feel what a haircut is like, because sometimes when you just go down to the skin, kids don't really understand what the haircut is all about, especially when it comes to that lineup, which he was definitely not ready for. And as you can see, that weight line that was very visible is no longer a thing. And now that everything's detailed, I'm just gonna kind of touch up in the front area, get it prepped just a little bit more for the lineup, just remove any of the weight that is left over. And I'm going to, of course, start in the middle part. I was going to use my boosted trimmer that is equipped with the ES5 blade at first, but I fell back on that because I actually didn't see that be ideal for his hair texture, so I did the cyborg trimmer. Also, for any of you that are wondering, what I sprayed on him was Holden spray, of course, and I'm just letting that dry up a little bit before I start up this line. I was gonna go ahead and freehand it like this too, by the way, but kids like him that are not very fond of the process of a hair lineup are best when you use a headrest. So I rested his head back. This is just standard. It should be standard when it comes to kids. It's the easiest way to line them up. They definitely do a lot better when you just rest them back. They're not going to be fidgety or jumping around unless you got one of those and you got to just constantly, get them back situated. So with him, he rested back for the most part. I try to avoid getting any hair on his face or nose. When kids get hair on their face, especially their nose, they just lose it. It just kind of throws them off. I mean, it's very foreign to them. It's the funniest thing that I've ever seen, actually one of the funniest things I've ever seen, but that's kids for you. But as you can see, I started off in the middle as always, worked my way out into the vertical bar and got the vertical bar perfected, as well as the C cup followed next. With his hair texture, there was a little bit of just kind of overcorrecting a little bit slightly, then also combing the hair or brushing the hair rather in the direction that it flows to make sure that everything looked the part and was symmetrical. So make sure that you get that in there perfectly as possible. But with that being said, I wish I was able to show y'all a lot of this. It's just my little homie was not really ready for this haircut the way that I thought it was going to go down. So it was just kind of one of those things where, I did my best to just kind of capture this moment and bring it to y'all and just kind of talk about how this went down. And I'm not really giving y'all a whole lot to run with, but I think sometimes visually seeing work being done is as good as, a tutorial to an extent. So, make sure that you run this back a few times if you have to, just to see how this turned out. But at this point, this is pretty much completed. I just got to do a little bit more details in the front. After I'm completed with the front, I'm going to move around to the back area and start working on his lineup around the ear going down that nape. And that wasn't really fun for him because he didn't really like how it felt at the nape area, especially when I started off with this hitter trimmer, I believe. I should have switched trimmers. The hitter was just a little too much in that nape, so next time I'll keep that in mind and use the, like a brushless motor. So the Precision Saber will probably be the best one to use in his nape because he was not really feeling that. As you can see, he jumped. He did not like that. I didn't welt him up or nothing, but it's a foreign feeling. Some people always think clippers or trimmers are hurting them from past traumas, especially if you had a barber that had no idea how to watch the sensitivity with the pressure that they apply onto the client's hair cut, you know what I'm saying? Like on the skin or the scalp rather. Some people tend to press down way too hard when it's not deep. You just have to let the trimmer blades do their job. You just let that thing work its magic. The blades will cut. You're not cutting skin, you're cutting hair. Remember that. So keeping in mind that you're not cutting skin should always tell somebody that, yeah, I shouldn't be welting somebody. If somebody's being welted, I'm pressing down way too hard, or I probably have my trimmer blades set at a very sharp, like zero gapped level or, adjustment. So you need to be careful with how you're using your trimmers and what you're using and what style of blade. If it's a square blade, T blade, or T wide, whatever the case, which I'm actually ready for Stylecraft to do a square blade. That is something that I would love a lot, but it's almost obsolete because you have blades like the classic X Pro, which is close to having a square blade. So it's almost irrelevant having a square blade nowadays. It's kind of hard to even try to explain that to some people because the designs that go into a lot of what Stylecraft has achieved is amazing. I'm sure they're gonna do a square blade one day just for those who are probably calling for it or requesting that they get a square blade because it's just something that they want. And I don't see Stylecraft not doing that at all. They're probably gonna go for it. I do actually miss true square blades. They had their reasons and their purpose that they served. So hey, Stylecraft, Gamma, if y'all watching, bring back square blades. You know what I'm saying? Do it better than ever, because we all know Stylecraft always improves their tools, and that's always the best part about their innovation and risky, business that they always take. It's like always a leap of faith, and it always turns out very great. I know some people right now are not really vibing with Stylecraft and some of their releases, which is crazy, but y'all need to get with the program. But anyway, this is pretty much a wrap, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful in any way. My man's definitely got his V-Bucks. Haircut looks great. He is picture day ready for sure. Definitely leave a comment, share this video, follow me on my different platforms, and subscribe to this channel, y'all. I will see y'all. Catch y'all on the next one.
Change your face. It looks like you smell something. Smile.
Big smile, man. No?
Smile, cheese, V-Bucks. V-Bucks. Smile if you want some V-Bucks.
Oh,
Smile
man.
if you like the V-Bucks, honey.